Say hi, Mama. Hi, Aunt Tiffany.
22-year-old Daniel Waterman fought in the hospital for his life.
To me, it's just so sad. Like, he had his whole life ahead of him. I'm never going to be able to see him be a dad. I'm never going to be able to see him be who he was supposed to be.
A man's dying words just sent his girlfriend to jail for murder. Daniel Waterman, 22 years old, 6'5" basketball player, spent 8 months in a hospital bed fighting to stay alive after a car crash. When he woke up from his coma, he couldn't talk. So he used a letterboard, spelled it out, letter by letter. His girlfriend Leah crashed that car into a tree at over 90 miles per hour, on purpose, because she was pregnant and jealous. The black box confirmed everything he said. Full throttle, no brakes, hard right turn into the trees. Daniel died in October from pneumonia his broken body couldn't fight off. But before he died, he made sure everybody knew the truth. This wasn't an accident. This was attempted murder. And now she's facing 15 years for vehicular homicide. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Behind Dark Crime. Today's case is gonna hit different. If you're new here, this is where we cover the domestic violence cases that don't get enough attention, the ones where love turns deadly. Let's get into it. We're talking about a man who survived a crash that should have killed him, fought for 8 months in a hospital bed, and used his dying breath to make sure his girlfriend didn't get away with murder. Daniel Waterman was 22 years old when his life changed forever on Super Bowl Sunday 2025. Originally from New York, Daniel was the kind of guy everybody loved being around. 6'5", athletic his entire life, passionate about basketball. If he tried any sport, he was amazing at it. But basketball, that was his thing. His Aunt Tiffany described him as someone who was just starting to figure out adulthood, just maturing, realizing what life really meant. And it was beautiful watching him become the man he was supposed to be. He was all about family, loved them deeply. His younger cousins looked up to him like he could do no wrong. Daniel had moved to Florida, and on February 9th, 2025, he was at his cousin's house for a Super Bowl party. Jessica and Sarah Stappenbeck were hosting, and Daniel brought his girlfriend, 24-year-old Leah Mumby. Everything seemed fine at first, just another game day. Food, drinks, family, friends, normal stuff. But Leah had just found out something that day. She was pregnant. And Daniel, he'd been getting texts from a female friend back in New York. Nothing crazy, just regular conversation. But Leah didn't see it that way. She saw those texts, and her mind went somewhere dark. Jessica Stappenbeck said later that Daniel and Leah left before the game even ended. That should have been the first sign something was off. You don't leave a Super Bowl party early unless something's wrong. And Leah? She called Jessica twice while she was driving. Both times, she was upset, worked up about Daniel's female friend texting him, accusing him of things, getting more and more heated. Then, she did something that shows you exactly where her head was at. While she was driving, she took Daniel's phone from him, just snatched it. Now Daniel couldn't even communicate with anybody, couldn't call for help, couldn't text his cousins, nothing. Jessica got a text from Daniel's phone just minutes before the crash. But here's the thing, Jessica doesn't think Daniel sent it. She thinks it came from Leah. The text said, "This is what he gets for being a liar and a cheater. Let that sit for a second. This is what he gets. Not, I'm leaving him, or we're done. Nah, this is what he gets." Like she was about to deliver some kind of punishment, and that's exactly what she did. Inside that 2019 Honda Passport, Daniel and Leah were going back and forth, arguing, yelling. According to what Daniel later told police, They were exchanging expletives, the kind of fight that gets loud and ugly fast. She was mad about the pregnancy, mad about those texts, mad about everything. Daniel said Leah started driving recklessly, swerving, speeding up, slowing down, playing with his life like it was a game. At one point, she slowed down to about 50 miles per hour, and Daniel tried to get out. He reached for the door, probably thinking if he could just get out of that car, he'd be safe. But Leah wasn't letting him go. Oh, so now she's gonna make sure he can't escape? She hit the gas, hard, 80 miles per hour, then 90. The car was flying down Interstate 95 inches, Flagler County, Florida. Trees on both sides, darkness everywhere. And Leah Mumby had both hands on that wheel with one thing on her mind. Daniel said the last thing he remembered before everything went black was Leah turning to him and saying, "I don't care what happens. You'll get what you deserve." Then she jerked the wheel hard to the right. The Honda Passport flew off the highway and slammed into a thicket of mangrove trees. The impact was so violent that both Daniel and Leah were trapped inside the wreckage. Metal twisted around them, glass everywhere. The car was unrecognizable, but here's something wild. Daniel's iPhone detected the crash, automatically called 911. The operator picked up and heard chaos. Leah screaming, crying, yelling Daniel's name. "Daniel, wake up! Daniel, wake up!" She genuinely sounded terrified.
It was a horrible car crash with a couple trapped in the wreckage. Cops investigated it as an accident until the boyfriend woke up in the hospital, and what they say he told them is shocking, accusing his girlfriend of intentionally crashing their car in a jealous rage. Les Trent has the details.
A young couple has been in a horrible car accident. Police say this Honda was going 95 miles an hour before it slammed into a thicket of mangrove trees. 24-year-old Leah Mumby is screaming for help. She believes her boyfriend, 22-year-old Daniel Waterman, is dead.
Daniel, longitude minus.
Oh, Daniel, wake up, please! Daniel, wake up!
Leah is not aware that Daniel's iPhone has automatically called 911.
The owner of this iPhone was in a severe car crash and is not responding to their phone.
The operator tried to calm her down, tried to get information, but Leah was hysterical. And Daniel, he wasn't responding, wasn't moving. Leah thought he was dead. Make it make sense. You crash a car on purpose, then scream for the person you just tried to kill to wake up? First responders arrived at the scene and had to cut both Daniel and Leah out of that mangled Honda. The car had wrapped itself around the trees like it was made of paper. At first, police treated this like what it looked like a tragic accident. Young couple, argument while driving, lost control of the car. Happens all the time, right? Wrong. Because investigators did what they always do in serious crashes. They pulled the data from the car's EDR, the event data recorder. Think of it like a black box on an airplane. It records everything. Speed, braking, steering, throttle, everything that happens in those final seconds before impact. And let me tell you something. That black box told a story that Leah Mumby didn't want anyone to hear. 3 to 5 seconds before the crash, the Honda was moving at a steady 93 to 95 miles per hour, not slowing down, not speeding up, just flying down that highway at a consistent speed. Then, 4 seconds before impact, the accelerator pedal increased. She pushed down harder on the gas. No brakes, not even a tap. The brake pedal was never touched. By the time that Honda hit those trees, it had slowed down to 52 miles per hour, but that's just because of the turn and the friction, not because Leah tried to stop. At the exact moment of impact, you know what the data showed? Accelerator pedal at 100% throttle. The brakes off. The steering wheel turned 175 degrees. That's a hard right turn, the kind of turn you make when you're aiming for something. She aimed that car at those trees and punched the gas with everything she had. Daniel took the worst of it. He was in the passenger seat, and when that car hit, his body absorbed the impact. Broken neck, broken back, multiple spinal injuries, broken clavicle, dislocated hip, fractured leg. His body was destroyed. Leah had injuries too. She was hospitalized. But here's the difference: she got released. Walked out of that hospital while Daniel was fighting for his life in the ICU. And that unborn baby she was carrying survived. Make it make sense. She crashes a car on purpose at 95 miles per hour while pregnant, and the baby makes it through. But Daniel, the man she claimed to love, the father of that baby, is hooked up to machines just to breathe. Daniel's family got the call around 2 in the morning. His Aunt Tiffany was asleep when her grandmother called. She'd already spoken to Daniel's mother, and the news was devastating. Daniel had been in a terrible crash. His injuries were so severe, they didn't think he was going to make it. Tiffany and the rest of the family flew down to Florida immediately, and from that moment on, Daniel was never alone, not once. Family members took turns, staying by his bedside 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, watching him, praying over him, waiting for any sign that he'd pull through. Doctors had put Daniel in a medically induced coma to give his body a chance to heal. But the damage was so extensive, nobody knew if he'd ever wake up. And if he did wake up, would he be the same Daniel? Would he remember what happened? Would he even be able to communicate? Months went by. February turned into March. March turned into April. The family stayed. The medical bills started piling up into the millions. ICU care isn't cheap, and 8 months of round-the-clock treatment? That's the kind of debt that follows you forever. But in May, something incredible happened. Daniel woke up. It wasn't like the movies where someone just opens their eyes and starts talking. Daniel couldn't speak. His body was too broken. But his mind was working. And he had something to say. Police came to interview him on May 15th, 2025. They brought a letter board, just a simple board with the alphabet on it. They'd point to each letter, and Daniel would make a sound when they got to the right one. Letter by letter, sound by sound, Daniel spelled out his entire statement. And what he said changed everything. He told them about the argument, about Leah finding out she was pregnant that day, about the texts from his female friend in New York that set Leah off. He said they were exchanging expletives in that car, going back and forth, getting louder and angrier. Then he spelled out the part that made investigators' blood run cold. He said Leah started driving recklessly, that she slowed down to 50 miles per hour and he tried to get out of the car, but she sped up 80 miles per hour, 90 miles per hour. And right before the crash, she turned to him and said, "I don't care what happens. You'll get what you deserve." Then she swerved off the roadway and hit that tree. Let me tell you something. When a victim wakes up from a coma and spells out that their partner tried to kill them, that's not something investigators take lightly, especially when the black box data backs up every single word. Police went to talk to Leah. By this time, she'd been released from the hospital and was back home. And you know what she told them? She said she didn't remember anything before the crash. Claimed she only remembered waking up in agonizing pain after the impact. Convenient, right? Oh, so now you don't remember the argument? Don't remember taking his phone? Don't remember those 2 calls to Jessica? Don't. Remember that text you sent from his phone saying this is what he gets for being a liar and a cheater? Don't remember telling Daniel he'd get what he deserves before you drove into a tree? Amnesia is a funny thing. Shows up right when you need it most. But the evidence didn't forget. The black box didn't forget. And Daniel, broken, barely able to breathe, communicating one letter at a time, he didn't forget either. July 2025. 5 months after that Super Bowl Sunday crash, Daniel was still in the hospital fighting for his life, and investigators had everything they needed to move forward. The black box data, Daniel's letterboard testimony, the text messages, the witness statements from Jessica Stappenbeck. All of it pointed to one conclusion. This wasn't an accident. Leah Mumby was charged with reckless driving, causing serious bodily injury and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. And yes, the car itself was considered the deadly weapon. When you use a 2-ton vehicle to harm someone, that's exactly what it is, a weapon. There's video of Leah turning herself in at the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. She walked in, got processed, got her mugshot taken, and they put her in handcuffs. She was booked into jail and then released on a $25,000 bond. $25,000 for nearly killing someone on purpose. But hey, at least she was charged, right? At least the system was moving. Around the same time, Daniel's family made a decision. They wanted him closer to home. Wanted him in New York, where the whole family could be near him without having to fly back and forth to Florida. So, in July, Daniel was transferred via medical helicopter from Daytona Beach to a hospital in Syracuse, New York. And you know what? Daniel started improving. After months of being stuck in that hospital bed, hooked up to machines, barely able to move, he was finally making progress. He got out of bed, started using a wheelchair, started physical therapy. His body was slowly, painfully starting to heal. His aunt, Tiffany, said watching him come back to life was beautiful. He was the same Daniel they knew, strong, determined, fighting through it. And he had something to fight for, something that kept him going even when the pain was unbearable. The baby. Leah had given birth to a baby girl. Daniel believed that baby was his daughter. And even after everything Leah had done to him, even after she'd nearly killed him and left him broken in a hospital bed for months, Daniel wanted to be a father to that child. He started taking online parenting classes. His mom helped him through them. He'd sit there in his hospital bed or in his wheelchair, learning about diaper changes and feeding schedules and how to soothe a crying baby. And he told his mom something that still breaks her heart to this day. He said, "I'm never going to break a promise to her. I'm always going to be there for her." Daniel was planning for a future with his daughter. He was fighting to get strong enough to hold her, to be there for her, to be the dad she deserved. But in October, everything fell apart. Daniel caught pneumonia. Normally, pneumonia is treatable. Antibiotics, rest. Fluids most people recover just fine. But Daniel's body had been through too much. 8 months of trauma, multiple surgeries, infections. His immune system was shot, and his lungs, already compromised from being on a ventilator for so long, couldn't fight it off. On October 8th, 2025, Daniel Waterman passed away. He was 22 years old. His Aunt Tiffany posted the news on Facebook alongside a photo of Daniel smiling. The post said he just wanted to come home to his family who loved him endlessly. "You can now rest easy, Daniel. Your fight is over, but we will not stop fighting for you."
Just so sad, like he had his whole life ahead of him. I'm never going to be able to see him be a dad. I'm never going to be able to see him be who he was supposed to be.
A basketball player, football player, and his family says the best son and cousin you could ask for was left in a hospital bed, nearly dying after a car crash back in February changed his life and his family's life forever. The driver of the car was his girlfriend, Leah Mumby. Court records show she is charged with reckless driving, causing serious bodily injury and aggravated battery. She was arrested in July and is now out on bond awaiting trial. The family says Mumby, who is also carrying Waterman's child, crashed the car over a message from another girl.
Leah intentionally caused the crash. They were arguing it was really over a Snapchat.
That claim by the family is in line with what FHP documented based on a statement from Daniel according to an arrest report. It also says Mumby told investigators she does not remember what happened. Daniel was expected to testify in court during trial, but a late development of pneumonia took his life. Now the family says prosecutors told them his statement to investigators may not be usable.
When did the prosecutors tell you that?
We had a Zoom meeting in the hospital before his passing.
The family is hoping for justice and custody of the child she is carrying.
So it just seems incredibly unjust at every single
The
turn.
family was devastated. They'd spent 8 months watching Daniel fight, watching him slowly come back, watching him make plans for his daughter. And just when it seemed like he might actually make it, pneumonia took him away. But Daniel's death changed everything legally. Because now, this wasn't just a case of reckless driving and aggravated battery. This was a homicide. The medical examiner ruled Daniel's death a homicide. The pneumonia was directly related to the injuries he sustained in that crash, which meant Leah Mumby didn't just hurt Daniel, she killed him on October 24th, 2025. 16 days after Daniel died, Flagler County prosecutors amended the charges. They added vehicular homicide, a second-degree felony, carrying up to 15 years in Florida State Prison. Leah's bond was increased to $150,000. She posted it and walked out again. Her next court date was set for November 19th, but as of now, she hasn't even been arraigned on the homicide charge yet. She's out on bail, living her life, raising the baby that Daniel died wanting to meet. And that baby, that's a whole other layer of pain for Daniel's family, because they've been completely cut off. No communication, no updates, no pictures, nothing. Leah won't talk to them, won't let them see the baby, won't even confirm if the baby is healthy. Tiffany said the family has heard that Leah gave birth around the baby's due date of October 10th, but they don't know anything beyond that. Don't know the baby's name. Don't know if she looks like Daniel. Don't know if she's okay. They've been kept completely in the dark. Daniel spent his last months on Earth taking parenting classes so he could be ready for his daughter. And now his family can't even see her. Can't hold her. Can't tell her about the man her father was. The athlete. The family man. The guy who fought for 8 months just for a chance to meet her. The family has hired a lawyer, John Hagar, to help them navigate this nightmare. Hagar's a former prosecutor who knows the criminal justice system inside and out, and he's working to make sure Daniel's voice is heard throughout this process. He wants the family to have an opportunity to speak at some point, to tell the court how Leah Mumby's actions destroyed their lives. But legal representation isn't cheap, neither is 8 months in the ICU. The hospital bills have climbed into the millions. Insurance covered some of it, but insurance only goes so far. The family has been hit with expenses they'll never be able to fully pay off. And, on top of that, there were the costs of flying back and forth to Florida, staying near the hospital, taking time off work, and now, funeral costs. The family set up a GoFundMe to try to cover some of these expenses. Every little bit helps when you're drowning in medical debt and legal fees. But no amount of money brings Daniel back. No GoFundMe page replaces the son, nephew, cousin, and father that they lost. Leah Mumby has pleaded not guilty to vehicular homicide. Her defense attorney is arguing that she's not a flight risk, that her history of missing court dates and violating terms isn't because she's trying to avoid prosecution, it's because she's mentally ill. And look, mental illness is real. It's serious. It affects millions of people. But here's the thing, being mentally ill doesn't mean you get to crash a car into a tree at 95 miles per hour with your boyfriend in the passenger seat and your unborn baby in your belly, and then claim you don't. Remember it. Being mentally ill doesn't erase the black box data showing 100% throttle at impact. Doesn't erase Daniel spelling out on a letterboard that she told him, "You'll get what you deserve," before she swerved off the road. Mental illness might explain some behaviors, but it doesn't excuse attempted murder. And that's what this was. Attempted murder. Leah Mumby tried to kill Daniel Waterman. She just didn't finish the job that night. It took 8 months, but she succeeded. This case has been compared to another case that shocked the nation, the Mackenzie Shirilla case out of Ohio. Back in July 2022, Mackenzie was 17 years old when she intentionally crashed her car into a building. Her boyfriend, 20-year-old Dominic Russo, died on impact. Their friend Davian Flanagan was in the back seat. He was alive when first responders found him, but he died before the rescue helicopter could get there. Mackenzie was trapped in the car but survived. Prosecutors said, Mackenzie and Dominic had a toxic, abusive relationship, and she wanted to kill not only him but also herself. She was charged as an adult with 12 counts, including murder, felonious assault, and aggravated vehicular homicide. A judge found her guilty of all counts during a bench trial in 2023 and sentenced her to 2 concurrent life sentences. Her first shot at parole, 2037. The parallels between Mackenzie's case and Leah's are chilling. Both were young women. Both were in relationships with men they claimed to love. Both got into arguments with their boyfriends. And both decided that if they couldn't have them, nobody would. Both used their cars as weapons. Both hit the gas instead of the brakes. Both killed their boyfriends, whether immediately or eventually. The difference? Mackenzie got life in prison. Leah is out on bail. Now, Leah hasn't been sentenced yet. She hasn't even been to trial. So we can't say for sure what's going to happen. But looking at the evidence, looking at what Daniel spelled out before he died, looking at that black box data, it's hard to imagine a scenario where she walks away from this. But even if Leah gets convicted and sentenced to the maximum 15 years, it won't bring Daniel back. It won't give his family the closure they need. It won't let them meet the granddaughter, niece, and cousin that Daniel died wanting to be a father to. Daniel's last conversation with his family was about justice. He told them he wanted justice for what was done to him. He knew he might not survive. He knew his body was failing. But he wanted to make sure that Leah didn't get away with it. That she didn't get to tell the story, that this was just an accident. A tragic mistake. Daniel fought for 8 months to stay alive. And in those 8 months, he gave investigators everything they needed to prove what really happened on that Super Bowl Sunday. He couldn't speak, but he found a way to be heard. He couldn't walk, but he found a way to stand up for himself. He was hooked up to machines, barely able to breathe, but he made sure his voice mattered. And now it's up to the justice system to honor that, to honor Daniel, to make sure that Leah Mumby is held accountable for taking a 22-year-old man's life, for taking a father away from his daughter before he ever got the chance to hold her. Daniel Waterman was 6'5", an athlete, a basketball player, a cousin that little kids looked up to, a son who loved his family deeply, a man who was just starting to figure out who he was supposed to be in this world. And Leah Mumby took all of that away in the time it took to jerk a steering wheel to the right and floor the gas pedal. So what? You think saying, "I don't remember" is going to fix that? You think claiming mental illness erases what you did? You think that baby you're raising is going to make everyone forget that you killed her father? Nah. Daniel made sure we wouldn't forget. He spelled it out, letter by letter, one sound at a time. And now the whole world knows exactly what you did, Leah. Rest easy, Daniel. Your fight is over. But like your family said, they're not done fighting for you. If this story made you angry, good. Daniel deserved better. His family deserves better. And that baby girl deserves to know who her father was. If you want to keep up with this case and see more stories about domestic violence that the system keeps failing to take seriously, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think. Should mental illness be an excuse when the evidence is this clear? Should Leah be out on bail right now? Talk to me. And if you or someone you know is in a dangerous relationship, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Available 24/7. Daniel fought to make sure the truth came out. The least we can do is make sure people hear it. I'll see you in the next one.